What's up, everybody? We back. I know it's been a while. I was gonna just start, but I feel like I should say something because I haven't reacted. I mean, that's not really uncommon for me. If you subscribe to my channel, I'm kind of all over the place when I upload stuff. I upload one video, then a month later upload another one, or upload 5 or 6 in one day. But I had a whole thing planned. I was gonna do I had a bunch of videos I downloaded that I was gonna react to. I had a bunch of Halloween stuff I was gonna react to, movies I was gonna react to, and I was going to continue to do it into November because I was going to recall my childhood, because I remember when I was a kid, in November I think it was I can't remember what TV network it was on, but it was called like Spooks in November or something like that, and they would show marathon like horror movies into November all the way into like I think like the week of Thanksgiving. And then usually the Bondathons came on and they would show James Bond, but they would still show like Friday the 13th marathons. But I was going to do that, which I think I still am going to do. But I got sick kind of. It's a weird thing. I'm allergic to dust, which I've mentioned this before because this has happened before. So I was cleaning out my garage. Yeah, very dusty in there. And my lazy ass decided, well, I didn't feel like going back inside to get my mask. So I just stayed out there cleaning out the garage. Dust all over the place. I'm like, the garage door is open. It should be fine. Well, it was not fine. And the next day, well, not even the next day, like 2 days later, or a day and a half, I guess, it hit me. The sneezing, the coughing. It was hitting me hard. Like, cause I was going to just react to stuff, but I was coughing and sneezing so much that I feel like that would be annoying for me to be in it, just continue to sneeze and cough. Like I still got a cough. My nose is running a little bit, but not much. Yeah, I got, like, you might tell I got a little mucus in the back of my throat. But yeah. Then I went down to Missouri. I started feeling a little bit better. I went down to Missouri last weekend. Or maybe it was the weekend before. I think it was the weekend before last. No, it was last weekend. And last Saturday. To clean out a basement. Because I'm getting the house ready to sell. And, me and my brother getting the house ready to sell. And, I went down to have my mask up because I was like, I'm wearing my mask because I know the basement gonna be dusty. I mean, we were doing cleaning the rest of I cleaned the bathroom and he did a lot of most of the outside stuff. And I was mostly cleaning the inside, cleaning off the doors, cleaning out the closet. And we started both kind of cleaning the basement. And that shit was dusty. It was way more dusty than I anticipated when you start scraping down the walls and shit and sweeping. I was like, well, this is way more dust than I thought. Then it appeared, and it of course got. I needed one of those masks that people have when you painting, like they cover your whole face, like filters in it, or those N94 masks or N95 masks, whatever. And I started getting fucked up again. my allergies, because I got sinus problems. Yeah, I'm allergic to dust, so it irritates my sinuses even more, so it makes it even worse. Which I've had it all my life. And then because the cough started to go away, then it came back with a vengeance. And it was just, and now. And also I was tired a lot because I kept coughing and it was hard for me to sleep. So then I was tired. And like I said, I feel like it's annoying to hear somebody keep coughing and sneezing in the video. And I don't want to try to edit that shit out because I was coughing and sneezing so much. You know, that'd be that would be ridiculous trying to edit, so I just didn't do it. Which is funny because my work schedule has been low this month, so I was like, this month would have been perfect to do videos and edit and shit. I didn't even feel like editing. I was so tired, and then I was drinking NyQuil. Well, not really NyQuil, but like Mucinex, but it was nighttime. I don't know why I fuck about the nighttime shit about the regular one, so I can just drink it whenever I drink it at nighttime, and that shit makes me groggy. So it makes me tired, and I sleep longer, and then I'm groggy when I get up. So I don't know what I fuck up. I wasn't paying attention. I was just because I wanted to get out of store because I was sneezing. Cause, you know, especially nowadays, if you in the store, because I still wear a mask. A lot of people don't. Most people don't wear a mask. They don't even have mask regulations anymore, unless you go like to a hospital or urgent care. But I wear a mask and I'm in there sneezing and shit, and people just look at like you thought I had the bubonic plague. It's like I had leprosy or some shit. But I mean, COVID's still killing people, so I mean, I wouldn't want to get that either, because I thought I said, oh fuck, because at first I noticed the dust, because it immediately started affecting me right after I cleaned my garage, and then it started to get worse and worse, and I was like, maybe I have COVID. So I took a COVID test, and it came up negative, because I did go in the store like a little bit before then, and I forgot my mask, and I didn't have it in the car, and I was like, I went to a liquor store somewhere, and I didn't have a mask, but no one was in there besides the cashier. So like, and the one dude did come in, and he had a mask on, so older guy. So it wasn't really like a big deal. But yeah, so that's what's been going on. So I was like, I gotta start getting back into this, because I started getting further and further away, start getting complacent. And I feel like that's how people stop doing YouTube, like smaller people like myself, where they just, you know, they like big YouTubers, they do like, oh, I'm taking a break, or, you know, I'm done with YouTube, I don't think I'm gonna do it anymore. Smaller YouTubers, they just stop, and they just stop uploading, and you notice it's been a year or two, like you start noticing 3 months, 6 months, a year since the last time they uploaded. You know, okay, this person, then they upload something 4 years later, like, hey, I'm back. But anyway, so let's just get into this. I need to buy me a new headset. I'm tired of wearing this big ass. I don't know why I bought this. This was like, I think this was like $60, but it was $40 when it was on sale. And I got it to game in this was a gaming channel, which I'm gonna start gaming. I think I might start tomorrow, actually, which I was gonna do some gaming. I was do Until Dawn. I was gonna do I think I have Man of Medan, whatever one that it just came up free on PlayStation Plus. I got downloaded. Well, I ain't downloaded, but I added to my library. I got some other games that I bought that I never played, that I was gonna play last year for Halloween, and didn't do it. Some game, I think it's called Mirror. I was thinking about doing it was Alien Isolation, but I don't know, that I'm kind of a punk when it comes to horror games. And that game is like, I've never played it, but I've seen a few people play it, and it's just, I don't know. I also have Outlast. I think I got both of them. I think I bought 2, and I think 1 was a PlayStation Plus game, or free game. But anyway, let's get into this. Cause I got a bunch. I got like 20 or 30 videos I downloaded, like narrations, like Halloween narrations, horror stories and shit that I still want to do. So, all right. Anyway, here we go. Oblivion access. Oh shit.
It's required. T11 eyes only. Emergency access. The following file is banned.
No, I definitely can't read that. That looks like gibberish to my.
Database. Access to this page is to only be attempted by the Department of 1 in the event of Contingency 1 being called into effect. If you are not a member of the Department of 1, stop reading immediately and close this page now.
You ain't supposed to be in.
Below, you will immediately activate Contingency 1 and understand the ramifications of such a process. This process cannot be reversed for any reason. By nature of your position, you have been granted access to trigger Contingency 1 without the need for Overseer Council oversight. It is trusted that you are aware of the circumstances requiring a Contingency 1 activation, and will not access this page early, or without proximate and urgent need. If you wish to proceed with this action, a button only visible to you will permanently unlock the contents of this file.
Item number, SCP-6511. Object class, Thaumiel. Special containment procedures.
Thaumiel? I've never heard of this
You are
object
to
class.
read this document and follow the instructions within. Description. SCP-6511 is a series of emergency protocols causing the intentional and near-complete removal of the SCP Foundation and its constituent components from reality. SCP-6511 is this page and all instructions and information within it, which acts as the outward manifestation of these protocols. Do not stop listening. The mechanism allowing for the existence of SCP-6511 are inherently encoded into all people, objects, and concepts adjacent to the Foundation. The utilization of SCP-6511 is dependent on the activation of Contingency 1, a mechanism exclusively keyed to the Foundation Department of 1. Please note that SCP-6511 is only to be used in a scenario where the Foundation's continued existence is a threat to itself and to established reality. The Department of 1 was created as part of initial formulation of SCP-6511. It is unique in that it consists of a single individual which acts as its entire staff at any and all points in time. The death of a Department of 1 is immediately followed by the appointment of a replacement, and only one can exist at a time. The current Department of 1 is to be isolated from the vast majority of Foundation operations, and not to be given additional duties beyond those granted by their department membership. The preservation of the Department of 1 is to be ensured at all costs. If you are listening to this version of the document, you possess Department of 1 clearance. In a scenario where SCP-6511 protocols must be executed, it is currently your responsibility to activate the mechanism, neutralize the threat, and restore the SCP Foundation. By the nature of the consequences of activating SCP-6511, it is unknown how much of this or any other information you will retain following the activation. Potential threats that may require the activation of SCP-6511 are, by the nature of this protocol, almost entirely unknown and not understood. There is very little information available to prepare the Department of 1 for their duty, apart from that which resides in this document. The success of the Department of 1 in restoring the Foundation is dependent almost entirely on factors outside of the Foundation's control. For these reasons, SCP-6511 should only be activated in cases where any other option would result in the destruction of the SCP Foundation, or worse. The origins and creators of SCP-6511 are currently unknown. Similarly, the record of Contingency 1 activations is also unknown, although inconsistencies in historical records of the Foundation suggest possible reference points. By virtue of your position, you are also believed to have knowledge of the SCP-6511 activation record that is not available to any other member of the Foundation. However, this suspicion has never been confirmed by you or any of your predecessors. If you have reached this section of the file, Contingency 1 has already been activated.
Oh, shit.
Continue listening for further instructions. Do not stop listening under any circumstances.
Okay, I'm gonna stop listening to this circumstance. Okay. So, the gist of this is this protocol is put into place to stop pretty much the destruction of the SCP Foundation by erasing it, if I'm understanding that right. It's like it's more of a controlled erase and then start over. So the Department of One, which I have clearance for, by the way, yeah, hot shit, they have authorization to implement this protocol, but then he said that they might not even have knowledge of the previous instances where this protocol has been implemented. So it's almost like they said we might have knowledge, so you might it's like someone remembering. It'll be like someone remembering the universe prior to the Big Bang. You know, was there a universe like the one we have now? There was a Big Bang and it started over, you know, and it's like that happens, you know, because I know that's a theory that it was a universe prior. There's a Big Bang and it destroyed the previous universe. And now we exist and it's going to be like, or however many Big Bangs there have been, you know, that's a theory. Then it was just nothing. And then a Big Bang came out of nothing, you know, like it probably was something there, you know, but that's interesting that if that's the case, like the Department of One actually also has no knowledge of what happened prior, because it seems like this whole thing is just mainly for the SCP Foundation, like the complete erasing of the SCP Foundation and bringing it back so the SCP Foundation can always exist. Because if something else destroys it and this isn't implemented, something could theoretically destroy SCP Foundation and that'd be it. So at least that's what I'm getting from it. But you let me know if we'll see. Maybe I'm fucking up.
The Department of One, which is yourself, is a division of the Foundation that exists entirely outside of its sectional hierarchy. It is imperative that you understand the full responsibilities of the Department of One before you are forced to begin them shortly.
You are not
They keep startling me.
The SCP Foundation has, for nearly the entirety of its existence, enjoyed the position of reigning warden over the anomalous world, if not the world at large itself. It wields nearly unlimited political, financial, and physical power to the point that opposition to our goals is easily understood, confronted, or managed through the employment of the resources at our disposal. We have weathered many storms and come out relatively intact. We are tempted to view ourselves as the apex predators of the anomalous world. However, the greatest misconception
big kids
of
on
the
the block.
average Foundation employee is that this does not mean we are invincible. Imagine a being
True.
with the traits of a perfect predator, a being that can match its prey's every move, parrying all attacks and breaking every defense, knowing exactly where it is at all times. These beings are the ultimate liability for the Foundation, a sufficiently powerful organization, entity, or other unknown force with the ability to relentlessly, completely, and instantly seize upon targets without even its knowledge is the only unbeatable threat to the Foundation. It will run, it will follow, it will shake off and adapt to our every attempted attack. But we are paralyzed, so resiliently stable, so swelled with our own power that nothing can stop the inevitable point where it finds our neon sign and pounces. When an entity is rendered prey, it essentially has two options: fight or flight, direct confrontation to neutralize the threat, or simply evading it until it is eventually shaken or lured away. But the perfect predator is unfazed by either. It will keep stalking you, never running out of energy or resources no matter how far you go.
Damn.
When you least expect it. It will destroy you in an instant, leaving no trace. No time for you even to scream. Evolution will create such beings, ideal survivors, feeders, lurking in every corner of the anomalous world. Perfect defense is nothing to the perfect predator. In the face of such an entity, the only creatures that have a chance to survive are something entirely new. A perfect hider, something with the ability not just to run, but to disappear. The ultimate form of playing dead, to die for so long that the hunter that has marked you will grow bored of the chase, wither away, or even die. It is a waiting game, and for the entirety of that game, you must never, ever be found. If the Foundation is made the quarry of this hypothetical being, it must hide. These entities are real, and Department of One protocols are engaged when the SCP Foundation is targeted by such a predator.
The origin of this text is unknown. The activation of Contingency 1 and the opening of this file implies that such a threat to the Foundation has been identified. Not only this, but this threat is here, present, and further existence of the Foundation in its current form is no longer possible. If this file has been opened, the entity that has caused the activation of this iteration of the Department of One has already detected the Foundation. It is impossible to say how close it is to seeing you. The protocols that you are responsible for are the process by which the SCP Foundation, its history and record of existence, and its knowledge as a concept are changed into a vastly different form that allows for it to remain undetected and absent from the world for an indefinite extended period of time. They are strictly only to be employed when all other options of dealing with an existential threat to the Foundation have been exhausted, and it is decided that the destruction of the Foundation is preferable to the alternative. The Department of One is the failsafe that is attached to this act of self-destruction. Its duty is to reverse the restructured reality and return the Foundation to normal existence when the time is right. The department is the sentinel, the torchbearer, that watches the threat for as long as it can, that holds the key that resurrects the Foundation from its long and deep sleep. They are the sole remaining employee of the Foundation during these periods, the key to unlock the shallow coffin. You are the designated survivor of the SCP Foundation. As of your listening to this text, the SCP Foundation has been dissolved, effective immediately. Unlocking this secure page and connecting it to the main SCP
Well, you said it already
database
been activated, so
has released a rapid-affecting computer virus that is designed to circumvent all RAISA firewalls and lock the entirety of the Foundation's operating servers. Reality must be prepared for the change, and the lights are going out, one by one. You are currently the only remaining employee of the Foundation. You will receive no further contact or communication from any other member from the Foundation, including the Overseer Council, as it no longer exists. Your sole directive is to ensure the survival of the Foundation by any means necessary. If you have reached this section of the file, the current operational state of the Foundation has been saved and encoded in a secure location. Continue listening for further instructions. These are the instructions.
is it about to turn red again?
You are to watch as the Foundation crumbles and turns into ash before your eyes. You are to feel the world shrink around you, collecting every last trace of that which must not be seen and hiding it away until the only remains are empty space.
Do the buildings get destroyed
you will feel
too?
the taste of every fragment as it breaks away from the whole. You are to stand in the midst of the space. You are to ignore the dark creeping in at the edges of your eyes. You are to wait until it reaches you, and the borders of unreality nip at your skin. You will know that all is finally locked away. You are to close your eyes so that you can remember the shape and texture of the SCP Foundation in your hands. You are to burn the image of its disintegration into your brain so that when you find yourself forgetful on the other side of the door, you will still see us in your dreams. You are to be responsible for the end of the SCP Foundation. You are to attempt to not cry out as the rapidly cascading reality finally shatters onto your body. You will fail. Remember
Okay.
what you say.
Thanks for the vote
You
of
are to
confidence.
awaken in a world that has never seen the Foundation in a life that you have always lived. You are to try and remember. You are to be followed by an enemy which takes a form that is unknowable. You are to be hunted to the death. You are to try and remember. You are to avoid death or destruction. You are to survive as long as is necessary.
This job
until
is
you
sounding like it
understand
sucks more and more as it
how
goes
the
on.
threat is to be neutralized. You are to try and remember. You will wait. You are the prisoner of time. You will watch just as it watches you. You will find a way to revert the changes in reality only when it is safe to do so. You must determine when safety is guaranteed. You are to bring back the SCP Foundation from a world where it does not and has never existed. We cannot tell you how this is done. We do not know. We have never known. You are to become one. If you have reached this section of the file, the Foundation's physical and informational structure has now been crippled beyond regular function. To conclude the CK class reality restructure, continue listening and follow the instructions. You are to read your eulogy. There is a dead tree just outside your window, where the last traces of the Foundation lie. You stand in the remnants of its shattered form. You breathe in its ashes every time you inhale. Walk to it. You are responsible for the continued survival of the SCP Foundation and the consensus reality that is tied to it. You have always been responsible since the day you were selected and told you were the Department of One, and told that your only job was to sit there and live and waste away until you received the secure message telling you to find this file in the database and open it. You thought you would never receive that message, that they all had forgotten about you, because it was their job to. You were not told that this was always to be your final resting place, and that this was decided the moment you became what you were. In one sense, you are the only one that will remain alive past the break in reality. In another, you are the only one that will die.
There can be
Everything
only
else in
one.
this reality will be effortlessly restored when you return with your mission complete. They will not know that for a time indefinite, they did not exist and never existed. It is your responsibility to know that you destroyed them all, and then you will forget. You die when you forget that you lived this life in the first place. You will forget your entire life, the world you were a part of, the words that are written on this page, and the audio contained within this document. That's the one catch in the plan we've never been able to figure out. You are now alone in a dead reality. You have received all the documentation for your role as the Department of One. There is no other help to give. The file has run out. You will leave everything behind. You lived a good, honorable life. Watch the tree carefully. Proceed to the designated location. This file will be the only one left online. Listen to the very end of this file. You are not safe here, but the Foundation will be. You have reached the end of this file. Contingency 1 is now complete. To execute all SCP-6511 protocols, find a resting place. You will be woken momentarily.
Oh, that was ominous. That was...
I would like to give a special thank you to Dr. Felrin.
That was spooky. I was like, is there anything else? That was very unsettling. Like, I feel very uneasy like watching it. So I guess you don't, like, the way that was sounding like you don't remember, but that you would just I guess have a sense of purpose to just bring about the SCP Foundation again. Which is interesting because the SCP Foundation isn't around. If there's something that badass that is just going to just destroy the SCP Foundation, they're like, we need to hide. So we need to cease to exist. But also, this protocol implements where the SCP Foundation never existed. Which is interesting because if you know, you know, a little bit, any small part of the SCP Foundation, they have been in everybody's fucking business if anomalies are involved. So, cause that's that thing where, you know, someone says, "Oh, you can invent time travel. We go back and kill Hitler." You know, that's the thing you always hear, and then people are like, "No, you can't do that because if you do that, then that might cause a ripple effect or an alternate timeline where things could actually be worse. Like it could be better because you kill Hitler and it could be a utopia, you know, for all you know. Like kill Hitler before he invaded Poland or before he rose to power, kill him when he was in art school or what have you. And maybe nothing happened, but maybe somebody else will step in and take his place. You know, probably go back to what was it, the Treaty of Versailles, and probably have them like, hey, maybe we shouldn't be too hard on Germany and some of these in this treaty. Like, you think that was a direct correlation to why Hitler exists? Because, you know, Germany was paying a lot of war reparations, and they were poor, and Hitler comes like, hey, you don't want to be poor anymore? You know, get behind me, and I'll see you through. Also, it's all the Jews' fault. You know, it's like, and the master race is white, Aryan, blonde hair, blue eyed. That's perfect. That's the perfect master race. And everybody else is subhuman. You know, it's like, especially the Jew. But it's like, if you are affected, what I'm getting at is, if you have affected a bunch of things in history, and this protocol is supposed to wipe you from reality as if you never existed, wouldn't that affect everything else that you've affected? That's like I said, that's like going back in time, and like that'd be like going back in time killing my dad. That would affect me because I wouldn't be born. Kill my dad before I was born, like that, you know, or kill my dad when he was a baby. You know, that would affect me, and that would I mean, it would technically, it would affect my mom too, but it wouldn't keep my mom from being born. But I mean, who knows how that might affect her? Maybe she'd go off and marry somebody else. maybe in that moment she was with my shit. She was with my dad, but now that she's not in this moment with my dad, she happens to be in her car, and she gets hit by some truck or something and dies at the age of 21 when she met my dad. You know, so it's like, you know, it's like, you know, you don't know. It could be endless possibilities, but that's interesting that you're the Department of One. You have to pretty much forget, and then also you forget, because you are a Department of One. So imagine you are a SCP employee. Like, you are privy to all the knowledge SCP has done. If you are the Department of One, you're the one who is supposed to restore the SCP if this protocol is implemented, which it was. and then it's gonna restore. So I wonder, if you restore it, does that just undo everything, or is it like starting over from this point? Like, is it like everything just like the buildings, the SCP, like the different sites just come back into being, and the computers that he was infected with a virus just become uncorrupted. I'm curious, like, how does that work, or is it just like, okay, you re-implement SCP Foundation from this point, and it kind of sprouts off from this new point now, rather than like erasing something from history and then going back, and then, like I said, waiting until this threat passes or dies or just decides to move on to something else, and then re-implementing it, and it just poof, and just SCP back in reality where it left off. Is that it? I was thinking more like it's like a falcon, where you burn it and SCP Foundation rises from the ashes from this point, so it basically has to start over. But then like I said, if you're erasing it from existence, like it never existed at all, I guess it would make more sense than, none of it makes sense, because how can you just erase something from reality? And not even like, and you're not even doing it where you're like, it's like making a wish. Where I wish the SCP Foundation never existed. So it's going to be erased from the point that it started from. And all this history will be erased. And anything that the SCP Foundation affected will now be unaffected. You see what I'm saying? So all these anomalies, like what would happen? Would the GOC, there was a global correlate. It was I can't fucking tongue. The GOC, you know what I'm talking about. Would that be kind of like the new SCP, except they, kill anomalies. They don't try to study them and figure shit out. They like just want this fucking thing dead or destroyed or whatever. Will these things just run amok and just start destroying the world? And then like, so because there was no SCP there, the whole world just was destroyed. It'd be like somebody stopping the SCP Foundation from coming into existence, and then going to the future where they came from, and the earth is a desolate wasteland with anomalies all over the fucking place, just doing whatever, or you could be like they did with Skynet. It was like, oh, you stopped Judgment Day. Well, I said technically you didn't stop Judgment Day. You just postponed it. So it's going to happen regardless. You can like technically stop it now from happening, from starting off from this point, but it will eventually happen in a later date. So unless you go in the future and try to stop it, or you gonna prepare people like to try to stop it every generation or whatever, or however it is gonna happen, because you don't know when it's gonna start. Because you may stop like Skynet today, and then a month down the road, a chain of events is happening to start the whole process over again, where Skynet starts all over again. Or it could be 10 years from now, 20 years from now. You just never, in that instance, you just really never know. Because it's just like they did in T2. They said, oh, you stop Skynet. And there's, okay. And and then what was it, T3? And they had the adult John Connor. He was like, I thought we stopped Judgment Day. And then Arnold was like, no, you didn't stop it, you just postponed it. It's inevitable. I was like, if I was John Connor, I'd be like, well, what the fuck's the point of all this? Like, we might as well just let this shit happen. Like, if it's gonna happen, we keep postponing it, and we're not. It'd be one thing you postpone and then you prepare humans like this might happen, so be prepared for this shit to come out. But I guess you prepared. Like, don't develop like machine AI that can give them access to the weapon systems. Like, don't do it. Just let humans deal with that. I mean, we fucked up too, but I doubt that we are more likely to just launch all the nuclear weapons at the same time, you know. Plus, we don't have that capability. But yeah, it's interesting, and that was fucking eerie as fuck. Especially with the the talking about like the darkness is creeping in and biting at your skin and all. I was like, this job first it sounded like it was cool. I was all the Department of One. It sounded cool. And then it's like, the more I listen, like, this job fucking sucks. it's like you're the only one left. That'd be like you're the only one left in the world, and you gotta somehow restart humanity. Like, maybe this happens, you have to get to, if something happens to the world where it's nuclear war or a meteor is coming to hit the earth or whatever, like, you have to get rebuilt. We built, like, you get down in a mile deep tunnel or whatever. You go down and you have a whole living like area, like almost like a small little town to yourself. And when that happens, you get down there, the protocol starts, you get down there, whatever happens, kills everything on the earth, all the humans. You have to wait until the when or if the conditions are can return to support life. Then we have a machine where you can, machine and a bunch of people's DNA and you can clone people. All you can clone, like, we have different variations of different DNA where you can clone like 200 people. So that way you don't run into, incest and mixing of the gene pool, so you don't get people with deformities and stuff like that. It's like, so you can have, you can repopulate the earth like that. Like, that would suck, because then you own the earth by yourself. You fucking, how long would it take? And also, it's not like you living, like you down there, because you don't know how long. I think this talking is making my throat more irritated. You down there, so really they would have to have a machine that puts you in like a suspended animation, and then a computer that would wake you up the moment like it's reading the atmosphere and the oxygen and carbon dioxide levels and all that shit outside. And when that shit is level was okay, it just can support human life now, then it wakes you up, because you don't know how long that shit might take. Especially you talking about nuclear war, or I mean really anything, a meteor hit the planet, if it's big enough to just wipe out everybody on the planet, like, that could take thousands of years. Like, you don't know. Like, especially like a meteor, not a meteor, but like nuclear war. Like, if all the nukes blew up at once on the planet, the planet would be irradiated for thousands of years, tens of thousands of years, maybe even longer, like hundreds of thousands of years. But anyway, hope y'all enjoyed my reaction. Whenever you did, make sure you hit that thumbs up button down below. Make sure to subscribe, and if you hit that bell, you want to find upload the videos. Comment down below. Share this video. I'll see y'all next time. Peace.